Starfire first appeared in DC Comics Presents in issue 26 back in 1980, and her creation incorporated many existing characters in the comic book industry. As artist George Perez said, based on the description, she was Red Sonja in outer space. Needless to say, that's definitely helped a lot with Starfire's sex appeal and controversy over the years. But let's not forget that she's oh so more than that. She kicks some serious butt, being capable of ultraviolet energy protection, and has immunity to intense radiation, cold, and heat, and is of superpowered condition, strength, speed, near invulnerability, all that jazz. And she can survive in outer space. So naturally, all this power got us thinking, who can she not take down? Well, let's count down our top 10 superheroes who can defeat Starfire and find out who can KO our favorite alien. And at number 10 is the Hulk. Let's start off this list with one of the hardest heroes to defeat, the Hulk. The Hulk is pretty much invincible. His invulnerability gives him a great advantage over everyone he takes on, especially since he only gets stronger with rage, which is bad news for Starfire if we're looking at this solely on the basis of a physical regular fight. While Starfire may have a few tricks up her sleeve and may be able to find a way to defuse the situation and calm Bruce Banner's angrier half down, it's hard to imagine that she'd stand much of a chance with the Hulk all ramped up, with his power ever increasing. Perhaps Starfire would have been able to take on the Hulk before his character was given all of his invulnerable plot armor, so we'll give her that. Speaking of plot armor, and at number 9 is Batman. While many argue that Starfire shouldn't stand a chance against Nightwing, I think it can make for a pretty decent match, to be honest, but that's just me. There's not much doubt that she would have a difficult time taking down the world's greatest detective. Now, the argument for Batman is typically that Bruce, as a regular human, would surely get his butt kicked by anyone who has any sort of supernatural abilities. Plot armor aside, Bats is really good at recon and comebacks. He analyzes what he's up against, deducts the best possible way to progress, and then usually takes out his foes, all by the power of his intellect. And tons of cash. Can't forget that. That being said, while Starfire may have the upper hand against Batman in their first encounter, you bet that he's not ashamed to retreat if things were going sour, and would come back and hit her even harder once their battle resumed. Up next at number 8 is Rogue. While this might be highly debatable and depend on the circumstances in which this fight occurs, it's undeniable that Rogue has a solid shot at taking Kory down. All she would need to do is manage to endure Starfire's attacks long enough to get close and drain her of her powers. A bit of a long shot, but not totally impossible. Speaking of long shots, up next at number 7 is Deathstroke. Slade Wilson has nothing on Starfire when it comes to strength, but Wilson does have an advantage when it comes to intelligence, combat tactics, and durability, which is why he's always been a foe for the Titans in general. He's got accelerated healing, he's toxic and disease resistant, and has super speed, longevity, reflexes, and enhanced senses. While you may not stand a chance against her these days, Slade did beat her once, so never say never, friends. And yeah, he's a villain and not a hero, but it only felt right to include him on our list anyway. Up next at number 6 is the Invisible Woman. Obviously, the biggest advantage here is that Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, is, well, invisible. But that's not the only trick up her sleeve when it comes to battling Kory. Sue is capable of invisible force field projection, which allows her the ability to generate protective invisible shields and invisible energy constructs, and the power to control and manipulate objects with it. Those two abilities combined, and you bet Kory is gonna have a rough time. Up next, number 5 is Power Girl. In what would most definitely be a close match, Power Girl and Starfire are on pretty even ground. But the one advantage that Power Girl has over her is that she's a Kryptonian. While Starfire's Tamaran race is a superior race in general, Kryptonians have an upper hand on Earth, with the argument here being that they'd be able to draw more energy from her sun than a Tamaran could. Aside from this, being the biological cousin of Superman and therefore having many of his abilities gives her a general upper hand in most battles. But the character has had inconsistencies in her powers over the years since 1986, or rather, writers have revised them multiple times. So the era in which Starfire is fighting her could also be a major factor in this battle. Up next at number 4 is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the original female icon when it comes to superheroes, and in a way is a bit of a trump card when it comes to opening a can of whoop ass on many an opponent. But let's take a look here at a concrete example. In the animated Justice League vs Teen Titans, she easily defeats Starfire. Being under Trigon's control, Wonder Woman attacked the Titans, whooped Beast Boy's butt, and then crashed into a building with Starfire. Despite Starfire being able to hold her own at the beginning of the battle did end with the lasso of truth around Kory's neck. Aside from all this, it's safe to say Diana's powers exceed that of Starfire's, with her being either on par or more capable. And in at number 3 is the Flash. 2 words: Speed Force. All the Flash would have to do is tap in, and bam, Starfire's got a whole lot of problems coming her way. A lot of which she wouldn't even be able to see. Starfire can't attack someone she can't see, and if the Flash is speeding around her, it's unlikely she could even get half a decent shot in at him. And if the Flash she's facing is Wally West, well, that's significantly worse. His manipulation of the Speed Force is even greater, and between time manipulation, the creation of vortexes, his ability to phase through objects, to take speed away, and his infinite mass punch, well, things aren't looking very positive for our Tamaran alien, are they? To be fair, Barry Allen can do some of that too, but still, Wally's just like a wizard at it. In at number 2 is Jean Grey. While Kory may be of sound physical capabilities, her mind is susceptible to invasion. Enter one of the Marvel Universe's most powerful telepaths, an Omega-level mutant, Jean Grey. Jean's got many a trick up her sleeve. There's her telekinetic abilities, and as Phoenix, immense cosmic abilities that involve the likes of cosmic fire generation, reality warping, space and time control, life force control, and temporal and existence manipulation. Yeah, that's a lot. But even when she's just Jean Grey, she gives Starfire a serious run for her money, with Starfire being vulnerable to the kinds of attacks that Jean can lash out. Also, worth noting that Charles Xavier could also do some solid damage, and take out Starfire. But for the sake of not polluting this list with a bunch of telepaths, we've decided to keep him off this time around. And finally, in at number 1 is Raven. In a different approach to mental attacks, let's take a look at Starfire's teammate on the Teen Titans, Raven. Starfire's inner powers derive from her emotions, so it makes perfect sense that a superhero who is an empath would be able to manipulate Starfire and turn that against her, in her favor. Raven not only has the ability to control others' emotions, but to make those around her emotionally numb, which could depower Starfire, leaving her with only a few abilities to take Raven on, like her expertise in alien martial arts. Physically, Raven may not be a match for Kory, but the second she whips her powers out, well, Starfire will have one hell of a time continuing the fight. There we have it, friends. Who do you think Starfire would lose to? Who on this list do you think she could beat? Aside from Deathstroke, of course. Let us know in those comments below. And if you dug this video, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons? And hey, come check out some of our other nerdy lists on our channel, like the ones in our Versus Battle playlist or our Top 10 Alternate Versions playlist. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I've been Kelly Pally, and this has been Top 10 Nerd. I'll catch you guys in the next one.